Here's the geography of the state of Virginia explained in less than 4 minutes. Are you ready? Here we go. Virginia is a historic state in the southern United States bordered by North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and America's largest estuary, the Chesapeake Bay. It has almost 9 million inhabitants, making it the 12th most populous state despite only being the 35th largest by area, about the size of Austria. Now, not many outsiders realize this, but Virginia is the only state other than Michigan to be divided into two large, distinct mainland sections. The main part of Virginia, and then this little peninsula bordering Maryland, called the Eastern Shore. The number one thing you have to understand about Virginia's geography is that it's the transition zone between the American Northeast and the American South, both in terms of culture and geography. This is most apparent in the state's population distribution. If you take a look at this map, you'll see three main population clusters: Northern Virginia, Richmond, and then this cluster down here. Northern Virginia, or NOVA for short, comprises the southern suburbs of Washington, D.C. and is by far and away the most populous region in the state, with over 3 million people. This region is undeniably culturally and economically tied to the rest of the American Northeast, especially the D.C. area. Interesting geography quirk about this area: Virginia's northern border on the Potomac River does not actually include almost any of the Potomac. Due to a weird treaty from the 1700s, Maryland and DC control almost the entire river, leaving Virginia with just its southern bank. Traveling south from Nova, we have the state capital, Richmond. With a population of about 1.5 million people, this was the capital of the Confederacy, and is situated at a strategic location right on the fall line of the James River, between the state's coastal region known as the Tidewater and the Appalachian Plateau. Which leaves us with this blob down here, called the Hampton Roads. This is where the state's three largest municipalities, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, and Norfolk, sit, with almost 2 million people between them. Centered on one of the world's largest natural harbors, with numerous large navigable rivers flowing into a single bay, this area is a huge hub for shipbuilding. And one of the reasons you might not have heard of it is the largest metropolitan area in the United States without a single pro sports team. And if you head east out of Virginia Beach, you can take the 18-mile-long Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, one of just a few bridge tunnel systems in the world, across the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay to reach the state's eastern shore. A 70-mile-long narrow sandy spit bordering just Maryland to the north. With fewer than 45,000 people, this area has some seriously remote coastal terrain, and provides access to some of the country's most historic and distinct settlements, such as at Tangier Island, which has been so remote for so long that it's developed its own dialect of English. In all, the Chesapeake Bay is definitely the single most important geographic feature in the state, with its long, craggy coastline providing abundant natural harbors, and giving Virginia the 15th longest coastline of any state. So far, we've only touched on the state's highly populated east, neglecting perhaps the most special part of the state, the Western Highlands. Western Virginia, home to about 3 million people and home to historic cities like Roanoke and Charlottesville, is a beautiful region of rolling hills and dense foliage. Mountains run down the entire western spine of the state, including sites like Shenandoah National Park, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and the state's highest point, Mount Rogers, at 5,700 feet. Major transportation arteries include I-95 and I-81 traveling north to south, and I-64 traveling east to west. Virginia has 5 international airports, and is one of just a few states to have a spaceport as well. Virginia is traditionally a swing state, but in recent decades has become more solidly Democratic. Major industries include government and military work, transportation, and agriculture. Virginia has the 13th highest GDP and 17th highest GDP per capita, and also has the most number of counties in the top 100 wealthiest counties in the United States, thanks to the wealthy DC suburbs in Northern Virginia. Some notable sites include the Pentagon, Colonial Williamsburg, Monticello, Mount Vernon, Jamestown Settlement, Shenandoah National Park, and the spectacular Luray Caverns. Virginians, let me know what I missed in the comments below, and let me know if your state truly is for lovers. Everybody else, let me know where you think we should go next, and follow for more geography videos.